we're going to jump straight in to our next speaker right now from Miro, Project Evangelist. It is Rory Keddie.
Hello, hello. How are we doing? It's getting a bit warmer now, eh? I'm built for the cold where I'm from. But yeah, it's really great to be here. Events like this feel really human, right? We get a place to connect, share ideas, learn from each other. And also I think it's important to cut through the noise that there is around AI. And it's fair to say, there is plenty of noise out there. Every time I open LinkedIn, there's a new tool that's going to transform the way my team works. There's that overachiever from university who claims to be 100 times more productive than he was. But beyond the hype, a lot has changed. We have deployed AI across our organizations, and we're seeing it transform what individuals are capable of. This is the first phase of AI transformation, that bottom-up adoption. But what we're not yet seeing is that value translate to the team level or to the organization level. And that matters, right? Because building products is and will remain a team sport. And the same is true for business. You can have a team of superstar individuals, but if you can't learn to play well as a team, then you're not going to win trophies. As my beloved England team know all too well, here's my World Cup reference, by the way. Oh no, someone's not a fan of the England team. Am I connected? Let me bring it on here, maybe that will help. Fair play to, or congratulations to Spain, by the way, and commiserations to Argentina. You did well. But yes, so I'm Rory. As you've guessed by now, I am from the UK. For the past 10 years, I have spent my time in various organizations and industries building and launching products and services. I've spent the past 2 years at Miro. We're really happy to be partnering with this awesome conference and with IQ Business. We have been around for 15 years now. So we have 100 million users. Teams around the world are using Miro, including teams at Apple, On Running, and the team behind the biggest streamed movie of last year, K-pop Demon Hunters. Any K-pop fans in the room? Yes, shout out. But over the past 15 years, teams have used Miro to go through all sorts of transformations, from agile transformations to digital transformations, and of course, AI transformations. As a product, we have moved from an online whiteboard. We did test this yesterday, and it did work. Well, you saw my first slide. How's it looking? I do know what I want to say, so I can go without the slides, but they will help. And I do want to do a live demo as well. Yeah? Okay, we're back. I'll go back to Harry Kane. Nice. Okay, so over the past 15 years, teams have evolved, how we work has changed dramatically. We've been through agile transformations, digital transformations, and of course, AI transformations. And as a product, we've evolved from an online whiteboard into a space where teams can collaborate as a team, but also now invite AI into the shared space, which is the Miro canvas. This represents a huge shift in how we work, but it doesn't mean as leaders we need to forget everything that came before. It's actually important to look back and reflect on what makes great collaboration and great teamwork. I'm sure everyone in this room can think back to an awesome team that you've been part of and what made it work well. This was a team that I led a few years ago. I was working at The Guardian, which is a British media organization, going through a digital transformation, so moving from print into digital product services and different business models. I led a small team where we were exploring different propositions to bring more value to our readers. And we built a great connection, great trust, and we also had this shared space. It was a physical space, but we used it almost as the project brain. We had research insights on the wall, we had prototypes, we used it to align on a shared direction that we wanted to move in. We also invited stakeholders and took them on the journey with us. But building products has changed a lot. Back then, we almost had to approach building the opportunity that we identified, which was to create a cooking app or recipe app out of the great food content that The Guardian had built up over the years. But we had to build it iteratively. We had to fight for design resource. We had to fight for engineering resource. And like in love, we all have the one that got away. I think it's true for products as well. You can probably think of that one idea that you wish you were able to build. But as we move through the versions of the product, as we move towards the launch, we just didn't have capacity to build everything. And there was one idea that kept coming up in the research. People wanted to be able to find recipes based on what they had at home. It makes sense, right? But sadly, at the time, we weren't able to build it. So today, I want to see if we can make it happen. I'm going to showcase how teams can collaborate on the AI canvas that we have built, but also actually bring this idea to life. So let's see if we can do it. So Harvey Specter doesn't need PowerPoint. I don't either. You can deliver presentations right here on a Miro board. So yeah, let's start with discovery. So here, on the project, we had the physical space where we brought lots of information into the shared context, but now we can actually invite AI to the party. So I've spoken to some of our users, and I'm going to create what we call a flow. So this is an AI automation that we've built, and so you can see how the input connects directly to the output. So I can write a prompt at the top of the table format to synthesize these user interviews, and I'm going to drag them both in, and then I'm going to leverage now, my team is going to leverage the power of AI to actually process and make sense of more data and more information. So we have some qualitative research here. I can also bring in information from other tools. So here's a survey that we ran with our users. I'm going to go back to the canvas, and I can actually paste these in as sticky notes. But now, of course, with the processing power of AI, I can select these, and I can try and pick out what some of the themes might be. So do people value convenience? Do they want to be able to share recipes at home? Or is it finding meals based on what they already have, which is the hypothesis I have in my head. So, oh yeah, lo and behold, here we have a theme that's coming out around, I want to cook from what I already have at home. But we're able to visualize where the themes are emerging. And up here, we are synthesizing in a table view what is coming out from these interviews. But what we can also do is take this qualitative and quantitative research, and we can even train an AI agent to help us along the way. So we're training it with this data from our customers. We can get it to review our prototypes, review our ideas, and we can ask it questions like, let's go for what are the biggest user pain points? So we're giving you the ability to create these specialized agents that your team can call on and collaborate with. So you can train them with your design system, you can train them with your research database, and they're going to keep you customer-centric or bring that extra expertise into the workshop that you are running with your team. So you probably have to squint here, but again, yeah, the top pain point that's coming up is we cannot find recipes based on ingredients that we already have at home. So thank you, Customer Expert Sidekick. I think we are ready to scroll down now And this is where the team can come together, brainstorm ideas, they can sketch ideas on paper, bring those into the shared canvas, and all of this great, messy, visual, collaborative information can actually be the input for what we want to create. So I want to scan what's in my fridge, I want to find recipes, and voila. So here I can actually connect to a prototyping format, and I can ask it to transform this into a prototype. So bringing my idea to life, not just handing over to a design team to do this, but actually bring it to life live in the moment. So I can connect in these inputs and again, run. So this, compared to 2024, is so much quicker. It usually takes about 1 to 2 minutes, but it is quite boring to watch AI load. So in true cookery show style, I have prepared some earlier. So here we've explored one of the angles around community sharing recipe with family and friends. Here we have the convenience angle. And here we have the wildcard idea. So can we actually create a way for people to upload images of what's in their fridge? And so I've created this prototype for the team to come in. We're going to explore it, click through. We can make changes, and we can discuss what direction we want to go in. But then crucially, we're not just collaborating with the team here. To take it one step further, I can copy this prototype, and I can add it into another tool to increase the fidelity, or I can copy and send via MCP, so the Model Context Protocol, which connects different tools and allows agents to get that context as well. So the team context here, not just the individual context, and I have sent this into Claude Code, but you can also use Cursor, Lovable, or any AI coding tool, and here we have it. So fingers crossed this works. We have a working product. I have a picture of my fridge. I can add in an avocado, because I know I have that. I always have avocados. And let's see if it works. Let's cook up some recipes. I know this is the slot before lunch, so this is probably making you somewhat hungry. So here we go. We've spotted what's in the fridge. Bell pepper, eggs, scrambled eggs. Nice. We have a working product. Who's coming to mind for dinner this evening? So great. In one shared space, we're able to move from discovery through to prototyping and actually deliver something that works. And we are bringing AI into the team at each phase. So this represents a big shift in how we work, right? So let's try and make sense of this and how we move from the 10x individual to the 10x team. So the first shift that is obvious is that we're moving from the scarcity to abundance. Before, we could only really explore part of the solution space. We had methods like lean startup and design thinking to make sure we start with the problem and test solutions. But now, wow, we can bring these ideas to life almost instantly. So it's great, right? Everyone's a builder now. We can all get stuck in, and it increases the probability of building the right thing. Well, slow down a bit. Speed doesn't always equal alignment. If we are 5 team members all moving 10 times faster but all in different directions, then we're actually in a worse place than we were before. So I think this points us to an even more fundamental shift, and that is to move from the iterative development and delivery into rapid co-creation. So we focus so much on delivery that in the way that we build products has actually made us move into more of a production line approach. So I do one thing, I hand it off. They do something, they hand it off. The PM writes the spec and the PRD. That gets handed over to the designer. They do their thing. That gets handed over to the engineer. They do their thing. But of course, handoffs create silos, and that is not where we want to go. So I think there's an opportunity to move from this production line approach to actually creating products more like a great rock band. I've gone for the Beatles analogy, which I regret now because I know someone from Oasis is in the audience. But if anyone has seen the documentary Get Back, it shows how the Beatles created their Let It Be album. They were also preparing for a world tour, and it was a tight deadline. But the way that they created was in one shared space. They had the singers, the guitarist, the drummer, and at one point, George Harrison turns to the group and says, "I think this is awful." And Paul McCartney quips back, "Well, George, you have to come up with something better then." Well, when was the last time ChatGPT said to you, "I think this idea is awful"? Never. Working with AI, especially alone, is a very cozy, comfortable experience. But great things and the way we get shit done is through friction, creative friction, challenging each other's ideas, and co-creating in a shared space. And sometimes that's uncomfortable, but it's always necessary. And this has transformed the way that we work at Miro. So we have gone from those handoffs, so picking something from the roadmap, brainstorming, handing the ideas over to designer, handing over to the engineer to delivery, to all creating in one shared space. And this has dramatically reduced the time it takes for us to get ideas to market, but it is also creating better ideas and faster decisions because Miro is serving as that decision-making layer. We're also seeing this with our customers. Endava is a technology service provider that works globally. They have transformed the way their teams work with clients, moving from Agile to what they call Dava Flow, which is an AI-native way of working. And again, they are utilizing Miro and Sidekicks to provide that shared layer for the team to work with AI and progress the work they are doing. So this should all lead us to one final shift, which is to move from hours to outcome. We can now be more ambitious with the goals we set ourselves. And as the doing part of the work, the creating the PRDs, creating the prototypes is sped up, we have more time to think collectively as a team and make better decisions. But I think if we get too obsessed with the technology, it means that we neglect some of the core fundamental product skills that are all too human. And they actually increase the importance of things like discovery, aligning on the right problem to solve, and not being tempted by AI and vibe coding to build that crazy solution without grounding it in the insight. Storytelling. As leaders, we need to create a shared vision to guide our team and motivate our team through this transformation and this change. And of course, as we spend more time working together again, which is a good thing, we need to get better at facilitation to guide teams towards making decisions together. And as leaders, we've always known that it's never just about the technology. It is, of course, about creating a culture where teams feel safe to lean into this change. Going back to the beloved England team for a moment, it's fair to say we've got a bit better over the past few tournaments. Ahead of the Euros, where we sadly came second twice in a row, Gareth Southgate hired a team of mindset coaches and psychologists and had the team doing all these crazy activities like inflatable unicorn water polo. But it served to build connection and build trust. And as leaders, we need to remember that connection is a real competitive advantage. At Miro, we run hackathons so that everyone across the organization, from finance to HR to product, gets a chance to get stuck in and build with AI collaboratively with their team. This is Andre, our founder. He runs Fail Nights, which gives leaders the opportunity to show their vulnerability and share learnings from their own failures. And we have a practice called #BadVersion, which encourages people to share early and often and get feedback. So we've kind of fed this myth that great things are the product of a solo genius, but I don't think that's true. I think great things are always the product of the group coming together and collective intelligence. Neuroscience has actually shown that when we work together, our brain waves can sync up. The great team of tomorrow is not going to just be a team of individuals using AI in parallel or worse, silos. It's a team that has shared context to exercise strong judgment and make great decisions together. So we've already seen AI transform what individuals are capable of. The next chapter is transforming what teams are capable of. So thank you very much. Please come and see us at our booth. Tomorrow we're running a workshop to help you set a vision for your team of tomorrow. So we would Love to see you there. But thank you very much, and enjoy lunch.